Dalton Knecht is straight up golden.
Said it, I'm golden. Told you I'm shining. Had to break through. Plan perfect timing. Giving no hands. Go get it.
So recently, I did a 5-part draft series where I discussed who I think the Heat should target at number 15 in this upcoming draft. Now, during that series, I mentioned that there was one miracle pick that if he could slip to the Miami Heat, oh, I would be so thankful. And that man is Dalton Knecht. Now, the reason I say that it's a miracle pick is because I went across a few different platforms here. We went to NBADraft.net, USA Today, Bleacher Report, CBS, and The Ringer, which is owned by that bum Bill Simmons. And across all those platforms, I looked at their mock drafts, and they have Knecht mocked at number 3, number 8, number 7, number 11, and number 5. So obviously a pretty wide range here, anywhere from number 3 to number 11. But the kind of crazy part is he jumped up a lot in these mocks over the last week or two somehow, because when I initially started looking at Knecht, you know, a month ago, he was mocked mostly from like 10 to 12. And I said, okay, the Heat pick at 15, so if he could fall a few picks, maybe Zach Edey goes early, stuff like that, maybe he could fall to 15. If he's getting mocked inside the top 5 now, that'll be tough. But anyways, I do think that he has the potential to be the best scorer in the entire NBA draft, and we're going to get into that. Very great story. Started 2 years at Northeastern Community College, giving me a little bit of Duncan Robinson vibes, coming from the real small school to the big time school like D-Rob did, going from, where did he go, from Williams College to Michigan. So I get a little bit of vibes like that. Now, they're not completely similar stories because Robinson literally went undrafted and Dalton Knecht might be top 5. But anyways, after 2 years at the community college, Dalton went to 2 years at Northern Colorado, and then he did finish his super senior season at Tennessee, where he played 31 minutes a night, scored 22 points a game, 5 boards, 2 assists, shot 46% from the field, and get this, 40% from 3 on almost 7 attempts. So the dude is a straight up sniper. Anytime you pushing 7 attempts and you over 40%, that is elite. Now, through my research, I did look up some comparisons, some NBA comparisons for those of y'all that aren't familiar. And these are the names that I got. I got KCP, which doesn't scream superstar potential, but KCP is an excellent role player, you know, very great catch and shoot, 3-point shooter, great defender. And then the next 3 guys that I saw are all Miami Heat legends. We got Max Strus, Mike Miller, Rex Chapman. So as much as I love all 3 of those guys a ton, they don't really scream superstar. And I legitimately think Dalton Knecht, maybe not superstar, but I think he has star potential to be one of the best scorers in the entire league one day. At least a guy that can score 20 to 25 points a night, you know. So maybe I'm hyping him up too much when I say star, but I think he's a guy that can be a legit, you know, 20-point per game scorer in the entire NBA. So the one thing though, he did turn 23 in April, so he's a little bit of an older prospect. From a Heat fan's perspective, that's something that I actually like, because just like Jaime Jaquez last year, I want someone that can come in and contribute immediately. Because assuming we're keeping Jimmy Butler, which we don't know, that's a big assumption right now. You're hearing a lot of rumors, but assuming we're keeping Jimmy, you have a championship window of right now. You can't sit and wait around for guys to develop, like Nikola Jovic, for example. I love Jovic, took a big leap last year, but I would trade him, you know, for Spider, Trae Young, if I had to, because I'm trying to win now. That's the point. So guy that's 23, he should theoretically be more developed than a lot of these younger guys in the draft. Now, as far as his measurables, Dalton Knecht is a little over 6'5". He was listed at 6'6" in college, but these are his official combine numbers, so I'll go by that. So he's a little over 6'5", with a 6'9" wingspan, and coming in at 212 pounds. So he does have nice size. Even if you just look at him physically, he's got broad shoulders, and he appears to be a guy that physically is NBA ready, although he's not the tallest guy out there. Like, you're not going to really want to see him play the 4 or anything like that. Now, what he does is shoot the skin off the basketball. The boy is an excellent movement shooter, and that is part of the reason I think he's so elite, because you get all these great shooters in college, right? They could spot up, they might be 45% from 3, who knows, but they're catch and shoots. Most of their stuff is assisted. With Dalton Knecht, he can fade to the left, fade to the right, fade forward, come off screens, DHOs, everything. And when you look at how the Miami Heat use the shooters in their system, you look at Tyler Hero, you look at Duncan Robinson, they do all of that. and then Spoelstra takes the gravity that a guy like Duncan has with the dribble handoffs, and then he builds his offense out of that. Now we're seeing Duncan Robinson do dump offs off a dribble handoff to a cutting Bam Adebayo. We're seeing Duncan do curls, throw lobs to Bam Adebayo, find guys back door. So having a guy with that kind of shooting gravity is just an amazing tool for Spoelstra to have, and that's exactly what Dalton Knecht is elite at. And I think it'll carry over to the NBA because he has an excellent form, textbook follow through, high release point, so he'll have no problems getting a shot off in the NBA. And he's also very good at attacking on closeouts. Now, his handle's not great. You're not going to want to see him handle the ball a ton, but he's a guy that can, get hot in the game early, have the defense sprint out at him, pump fake, and get to the lane. So he's very skilled. That's sort of the point that I'm trying to make, clear here. He's not just a spot up shooter. He's not a, Reggie Bullock or a Davis Bertans, something like that. He can move the ball a little bit too, and he's very good at getting inside the paint off of those closeouts. Now, his finishing at the rim isn't great. Maybe that's why he's got some Mike Miller and Rich Chapman comparisons. Like, he can get there, but he's not great at it. He's not terrible, though, but it's just important to note that that's not necessarily his game. Now, at Tennessee, he had a very high usage. He was literally the guy there, right? Had the ball in his hands all game. So you wonder how it'll transition when he's in the league and he's not the guy. But for a guy that doesn't need post touches or, needs to go ISO, I'm not concerned about that. That's a lot of the times the guys that you might be more concerned about, but not with Dalton Knecht. A shooter is literally transferable into any system in any basketball league in the world. So I don't have a lot of concerns about that. He can, but I know I said they're not going to post him up, but one thing that he did show in college is he has sort of that post turnaround fade. And to me, that's another sign of like a future star. It's going to sound crazy when I throw these names out there, but the fadeaways, the Michael Jordan fadeaway, the Kobe post fade, the LeBron post fade, D-Wade post fade, Jimmy Butler got that in them. It seems like all of these stars are the guys that have that little back down, couple dribbles, turn over the left or right shoulder, fade away. That it's sort of like an old man game, but all these stars can get that off at any time. You know the shot I'm talking about. And Dalton Knecht has that. And it's a very difficult shot, especially for someone that's still in college. Because, like I said, usually you don't see guys develop that until they get a little bit older. Now, I'm not saying it's rare. There's a lot of guys in the league that can do that. But it's just a great tool to have in your game. And really is promising to me as far as Knecht being, an amazing scorer in this league one day. He has some size and athleticism, but it's not... it depends how you want to pair him up in the NBA defensively, right? Because he's not super athletic, so you're not going to want to be putting him on the elite point guards and shooting guards. But he's also not super big, so you don't quite want to put him on fours, some big threes, some fours, because he's sort of like, I said it earlier, he's a 6'6" player with average speed, so there's questions defensively on who he would guard. But there's other 6'6", average athletes in the NBA. He would guard those guys. But you're not looking at him to play defense. You're not looking at him to be the guy. Maybe he can come in at first, like for the Heat, for example, play 20 minutes a night and get buckets. So I don't have a ton of questions defensively. The reason, though, that I am so high on Dalton Knecht, in addition to everything else that I said, is he is a big-time player. I don't watch a lot of college basketball. I'm one of those guys that turns it on come March. And come March, I fell in love with his game. I'm one of those guys that puts a lot of stock into March Madness when it comes to the draft, because I think stars are big-time players in big-time games, and what bigger games is there than March Madness? Single elimination March Madness. So even if a guy is okay in the regular season, if they dominate in March, that's enough for me to, believe in them to get drafted high. Look at D-Wade. D-Wade was very good at Marquette, but he dominated in the tournament, leading Marquette to the Final Four. That's the type of stuff I like to see. Now, if you look at what Knecht did in 4 games of March Madness, he averaged 26 points a night on 40% from 3 on 9 attempts. The man shot almost double-digit threes a night at a 40% clip, 26 points a game, put the team on his back against some of the best teams in the whole country, and he did that. Even this year, Knecht had 35-plus points 6 different times. 35 is a lot in college, and he did it 6 times. And you may be saying, oh, did he do it against some little schools, some community colleges? No, these are the schools that Dalton Knecht dropped 35 plus against. Kentucky, the biggest game of the season for them at that point. Versus all those other NBA guys, Rob Dillingham, Reed Shepard, Antonio Reeves. He put, how many did he put on that? He put, oh, I cut it out of my screen share. But I think, oh, here it is. He put 40 points on their head. His other 35-point game was versus Florida, another amazing school this year. It was 39 points to them. He also did it versus Auburn, versus UNC, versus Purdue and Zach Edey, versus Georgia. These are all big-time basketball schools that he was dropping a great deal of points on. So for a guy that steps up when those games are big and to be able to do that versus that level of competition, that's the sign of a star. And that alone, regardless of all the other stuff, that alone is enough for me to believe in the kid. Anyways, that's all I got to say for this video. So let me know what y'all think about Dalton Knecht down below. Do you think I'm overhyping him? Do you think he'd be a good fit for the Heat? Do you think there's no chance in hell he'll fall to 15? Let me know all your thoughts down in the comments below. I also want to know other draft prospects that you're interested in seeing me talk about. I've already done, you know, Isaiah Collier, Jared McCain, Tristan Da Silva, Khalil Ware, and who's the other guy I did? Devin Carter. I did Devin Carter. So drop some names you might want to see me do some more analysis on, and I'll be happy to get to it because the draft is now, what, less than a month away, right? Most importantly, hit subscribe because I am on the grind to hit 5,000 subs before the start of next basketball season. We're less than 900 away, so I greatly appreciate it, and I'll see y'all next time, so peace out.
Look, pull up in your city trying to get that dead face. Do it on my own, I don't need no dead weight. Had to kill him off, yeah, I need a head space. You know this homegrown bitch don't offend me.